Hello, everybody. My name is Matt, and we are the VOD Squad, a show about streaming technology, starring your favorite three people. Hi, I'm Matt again. Today, I am joined by Jimmy Trimmel
Hey guys, how's it going?
and Mike Laston.
Howdy, everybody.
Sorry, little disoriented. Had to kind of fill in the role of host today because Clyde just disappeared off the face of the earth today. Don't know what's going on there. Sorry. I am beginning this thing up and running, realizing that there's little things that aren't correct, and I have to be fixing on the fly. So this show might be a little rough. Just saying right now, but that's okay. We'll make it work. How is your day going?
Like the Three Stooges without Mo.
It was Curly and Larry and Mo, and what was the other stooge?
Shep.
Oh man, now we have to figure out which one of us is which. And you think Clyde is Mo?
Well, Mo's the leader, right? He's always bossing the others around.
I guess so. I guess that's right. So that's okay. Well, it's all right. We'll run the house here. Sounds great to me. I have no problem with that. Hey, otherwise, how's you guys' day? How's your days? Your week been this past week?
Oh, I think that as the year started, 2021 or 2020 came out and shouted, "I was the worst year ever." And then 2021 came in and said, "Hold my beer."
Oh,
we're off to a rip-roaring start, I think.
yes. Today it was an interesting day, but yeah, I don't know if anybody wants us to talk about that. That's for certain.
That's the extent of what I have to share about today, or the entire year thus far. In fact,
Mm-hmm. For me,
Yeah.
it's been my job as a technician at a school district, and about half of my work today was dealing with people in printers. The other half was, my hotspot or my Chromebook stopped working, or I need a replacement, or here's the one I turned in, or whatever. But that's basically been my day today, was just fixing printers. It's not fun, but that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
sorry, I just read Wabbit's note. I only need 0.1 seconds of black, not 30 seconds.
Well, Wabbit, that was my fault. I literally pressed the button to play the intro, and it played nothing. At which point I said, "What the heck?" And I went into OBS, and I noticed that it was pointing at the wrong at a file that doesn't exist, essentially. So I had to re-find the file and start it up. So you had a nice long piece of empty air for there, but nobody will know after the recording. That's for certain.
Now they will.
Hey,
Nobody does black like Matt does black.
oh wow, thanks. I think. No. Why don't we go ahead and talk about some of this week's news? I'll start off. We have a story about Amazon's first TV. Amazon has been making their own products, basically rebrands of other products for a lot of different things, but they've never yet gone out and made their own TV until now. They've come out with their own version of the Amazon Basics TV. They're 55 and 50-inch models, and they're fairly inexpensive for being $480 and $410 respectively. They are built in with the built-in Fire TVs and the stick built into them. They have the various for the 4K and the HDR support for all of them, and they are available in India, which makes it great.
I wonder why they selling it in India. Could that be maybe because they're manufacturing it in India, perhaps?
That's a possibility. It could also be maybe a test market. It could be the idea that they want to see if that they can compare to the other OEMs, and it's a good market that they can step into. But it does make a sense that if it was the fact that they were built there, it'd be easy to do there. So.
Yeah. I know that they've made a pretty distinct effort to get penetration in India as far as looking at the way that they're trying to reach into that market. And Netflix has made concerted efforts to get deep penetration into that market as well, making a lot of shows specifically for the India market. And so this might be Amazon's way of kind of edging in on that and getting a little bit deeper hold on the Indian market. And, this device is capable of running and promoting Amazon services and products. And at the same time, you can watch Netflix on it if you already like Netflix and stuff. So I think it's a pretty solid market to try to get into. And of course, it's a very large market. So yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Well,
so
go ahead.
Could be, one other interesting thing there, and maybe I'm showing my ignorance here, right? But it comes with Fire OS. Does the Fire TV have what they call Fire OS as well, Mike?
Yeah, so that's just what they run their all of their TV devices on and stuff like that, like the Cube and stuff. So.
Are the tablets also Fire OS, or they call it something else?
What's that?
The tablets, they're Android knockoffs.
I believe so.
So
I'm not 100%, but
it's probably
I'm pretty
based
sure
off the same fork of Android that they use, and so that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, there's other TVs that you can buy that run it, just not made by Amazon. So this is not a novel thing, but it's novel that Amazon is producing it themselves. So,
yeah, and so apparently after the U.S., China is the next big market, and after that, India is supposed to be the next big market. Eventually, I think India might be like one of the biggest markets of all time in many years to come. So it might be really good to have a good foothold there. And who knows?
And to be fair, I shouldn't say they're building it themselves. They're putting their own name on it. I mean. It's not like they opened up a factory and started producing TVs.
That's fair enough. Okay, moving on. Next story is The Office. Might be a favorite of a lot of people out there. You get time to watch those zany people make the workplace look like a really horrible place to be.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to watch on Netflix.
It's no longer on Netflix. It has been moved over to the Peacock service. It is now an exclusive there. You will not be able to watch it for free with ads. You will be able to watch it either with ads for the $5 a month package or the $10 a month package for getting it ad free. So for those people out there who are really hoping to keep their constant running of The Office running in the background, they now have to subscribe to a new service in order to get it.
Yep.
And, do you guys watch The Office? Ever seen it?
I've seen most of the seasons, and I do like it. I don't actually watch it, despite what I just said. But I think it's always sad when you see something that you like leave the service that you use. But it's a logical play, right? Like, obviously, they're going to want to have that show on their own channel. So
that makes sense. Absolutely.
Of course. If you really if it was really your favorite show, to me, the deal there seems like, just, spend $30 on iTunes, right? And just get the whole entire series.
Yeah,
probably. Next story here, I think I'm going to skip, unless anybody is really interested in how various your various streaming platforms for your exercise are doing. And if you do care, then Gadget's got an article where they compare several of them, including the new guys from Apple Plus Fitness, Peloton Digital, Daily Burn, and Glow Yoga, and they give a nice little breakdown of why each one might be good for you. I did not read this article, so I'm certain it's full of all kinds of useful information about stretching and and cardiovascular health and all that jazz. So,
yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say that's interesting about this is that we're seeing streaming products come in a more and more diverse array of tools and devices, and so now, I mean, there's still technically just TVs or computers, but or tablets or whatever you want to call them, but they're now attached to, an exercise bike in the case of Peloton or whatever. So it's just interesting to see that change happening. And I think it's cool. It's inevitable, I think, as we, get more and more technology and more devices around the homes and stuff like that. So I think it's interesting. I was seriously thinking about getting a Peloton for Christmas. They couldn't get them to us until like February. By the time I tried to, I decided to do that. So then I was like, I'll figure something else out to do, but I might still get one. So we'll see. This will be a good article to read. So thanks for pointing it out.
Okay.
Yeah. I am about to start the Fitness Plus, so I'll let you guys know soon how I like that. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting that you're starting to see a lot of these now. A lot of these are popping up, right? There's the Peloton. There's the, I don't know, the mirror on the wall service, whatever that is, right? And I think there's a couple others out there as well, right? But yeah, that's starting to, it's funny how with, COVID-19, nobody going to the gym, everybody wants to work out at home. So all of a sudden you got all these services popping up like that. So very interesting. And even I too, because I used to go to the gym and, I do go out for walks, but, I still miss that, vigorous workout in the gym. Right. And hopefully this Fitness Plus from Apple, hopefully that'll kind of fill the need there.
Oh, yeah. All I gotta say is that my exercise that I plan on doing this year is power napping. I mean, at least once a week, and maybe twice. Good 30 minutes. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. I gotta tell you, it's gonna be awesome.
I already started the workout program, and that's why I can't really take my glasses off with my right hand.
Too hard? Oh no! See, what are you exercising for? You're making your life too difficult. You can't adjust your glasses. It's just too hard.
Just worked my triceps a little bit too hard, and so the arm doesn't want to stretch that far.
Nice. All right. LG is already talking about some of their stuff. They're going to talk about during their upcoming CES content, whether it be online, CES online, or in person. Who knows? We'll see if if things are there. The thing that they're showing off here in this article is a big 65-inch display, OLED, that is perfectly flat until you press a button, at which point it gets a slight curve in order to have a more immersed gaming situation. And at first, I was thinking about this as, who would want this? What do you guys think?
So here's the thing. It depends on how this works, right? If they've got like a semi-flexible material and they can create a bend in it that's fairly smooth and even, then that works okay. I think where it would actually be kind of compelling is if you could have like a really big TV, like a 49 or 55-inch TV, that then you could sit down up close and have it become, not just curved, because I always thought curved monitors were kind of silly. There's not enough curve to like make it actually feel immersive in gaming.
Right.
So what's the point? But if you could actually get it coming out to like, what is it, like 170 degrees, so that you could actually be kind of immersed in the game, I think that would be pretty cool. and then you could still use it as a TV when it was folded flat. That would make sense, but that's not what this is doing. So I really don't know that it's that interesting to me.
All right, Jimmy, do you want your TVs to curve automatically?
Well, I'm not a gamer, but I can understand, the curved monitor for gaming. That makes sense to me to make it more immersive. But I don't know, a 65-inch screen. I have a 65-inch screen, and I think, and I guess I'm looking at the picture that's in the article. To me, that seems awfully close to be setting to a 65-inch screen, right? So it doesn't, I mean, if that's the true depiction of what it's supposed to be, I got to imagine the eye strain's got to be pretty bad setting that close to the television and doing gaming like that. If it was a smaller screen, if it's maybe kind of like what Mike was saying, a 48, 49-inch screen, something like that, maybe that would work. But I think for this 65-inch, I think it's probably a little too big.
Well,
but again, I'm not a gamer, But now they do mention in the article too that eventually maybe they'll get to the 240 and 360 hertz refresh rates. So maybe that would help. And if you had it going that fast, then maybe you could take that bigger screen.
But I mean, the other thing is if you were, I think the one that they're showing in the picture and the one that they're marketing, this new one this year, is 48-inch. The thing is, at 4K, I agree, 65-inch, I honestly don't think 4K is enough at that close of a distance.
I disagree, but
I mean, with the 65-inch screen, I think that it would be pretty iffy at 4K. I mean, what do you think, Jimmy? I mean,
yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I mean, to me, because I know, I mean, my 65-inch TV I have, I'm setting probably, at least, 15 feet away. And that seems to be about the right distance for me, right? In the picture there, he's maybe 5 feet away, maybe not even 5 feet away. But so 15. I'm at least 15 feet. I'm probably more like 18 or maybe even 20 feet away from the television. And for watching TV, it's not gaming, right? But for watching TV, that seems to be the perfect distance. But I don't know. It just seems like it'd be a little big unless if they can get the technology right, though. Yes, it could work just fine. But I would question the technology for gaming. That big of a screen.
All right. As the guy who took his big 40-inch 720 display a long time ago and put it on his when he went to the LAN party, he brought that TV and plugged that in so he could play his games at 720p with a big display. It can be nice to have that big and wow, everywhere I look I'm seeing screen. It can be great. So that having that big display can be good for gaming, only because it makes you feel more into the game. Also, a little bit of a spectacle for your friends to go, whoa, look at the big screen, which is always fun. That being said, I have at work one of those ultra wide LG monitors. Basically, the office said, "Oh, we bought one for the secretary, and the secretary decided she did one of the two 1080p displays, so we have this extra monitor." And I said, "I'll take it." So I have one of those nice ultra wides. I kind of wish it was kind of just a little bit curved, because the monitor from sitting in the center of it darkens a little bit in the corners because I'm not looking directly at it from those angles. So I kind of wish it was just a little bit more of a curve on it, which is kind of weird to say. So I get the option. Having the button is cool. Having it, and this is a great gimmick because we all need gimmicks to sell TVs. So you need to have that button that makes your TV just kind of, and then whoa, I need that. Somebody out there will spend thousands of dollars on that.
Sure, right. Until virtual reality or augmented reality gets here, then it'll be obsolete.
And also, I really do like going to the flat display because the curved display is great for one person. It's not good for many. So flat's much better in that situation. So absolutely, having both is great. What's also great? It's Quibi. Quibi was really great. It was so wonderful. It came and it went. So It was, the content that was made in Quibi, there was a decent amount of little short bits in there, quick bites. They were out there for a hot minute, and question is, what's going to happen to all that content? It looks like Roku might be buying it. So Roku might end up with all the various Quibi content that was available for them, and so they're in discussions to pick up that content.
Interesting.
Quibi bites with commercials in between could make some money, because that's
So just
kind of
but the commercial the commercial would be longer than the content.
That's true, and sometimes better, right?
So just to give you a quick heads up on the sorry, I'm still stuck on the last story.
Oh, it's okay.
According to visual acuity capability of a normal person, 65-inch TV should be viewed from no closer than 4 feet.
No,
if you get
closer.
within 4 feet, then it is optimal to upgrade to a higher resolution than 4K.
No more.
Correct. And if you are more than 8.5 feet away, then you probably only need a 1080p.
Probably, because your eyes just can't see the pixels. But
right.
But big numbers, they sell. Just got to tell you.
Yeah. So I need to upgrade. That's what I'm reading. Is I need to go tell my wife right now, my TV, for how close we sit, I should be running at least 8K.
See,
get a bigger TV.
That is a 55-inch TV. It's the biggest one in the house, and then it's in the smallest room in the house. So it's fine. It's 1080p. It's nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
All right. If
sorry.
you are a subscriber to Hulu's live TV service, you may suddenly notice that you have a few more extra channels. Hulu Live TV has made a deal with with Comedy Central and the other Viacom CBS channels in order to pick them up as part of their system. That gives them things like the Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, the Paramount Network, VH1. And a bunch of other channels that actually there are people who really decide on the service based on some of these channels. So this is good for them to finally pick it up. It doesn't say it comes with any kind of cost update for it, so it's still going to be your $65 a month. But that brings it right in line with YouTube TV. Plus, it gives you all of Hulu on it as well, so it's not bad.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, we should get something for that pay rate, that cost, that increase that we just had, right? So I guess they're doing that. I guess that's what we're getting for the extra money now. We're getting the 14 extra channels. Mm-hmm. So I'll tell you, it's starting to get to the price. I mean, you do get a lot of content. I'll admit that, right? But it is, but how much of that content do I watch? I don't know, but I do like getting Comedy Central. There's a few shows on there I like to watch. So more content's good, but I'm not going to complain about it.
I look at this list and I'm like, okay, well, my plan is to cancel before it renews on February 1st. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing here that's going to make me even think twice about that. I kind of agree. It's like, if I'm paying for it, it's always good to have more options. And, maybe I would watch some Comedy Central, though I think most of it's not that good. There is occasionally some entertaining stuff there. But, I mean, most of the rest of these channels haven't been relevant for 20 years, in my opinion. So it's just kind of not going to add anything, and it's certainly not going to make me think twice about canceling it at the end of this month.
The only channel on this list that would make me want to get this is Nickelodeon, because my son loves watching Nickelodeon shows. That's the only thing on here that would be like, okay, well then that's why we would want that. Other than that, no, that's just doesn't seem like a.
So let me show my ignorance again. MTV Classic. Is that the original MTV, like what it used to be, or what is that?
I know when it originally came out, MTV Classic was, hey, we're just going to do music videos again. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that anymore. I think it has moved on to something else yet again, which is frustrating because, that's what you'd want to watch MTV for, right? That's what I'd want to watch MTV for is, hey, well, let's hear the most recent music and see the crazy videos that they put with it. That'd be great. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I want my MTV back.
Yeah.
Well, okay, what also launched today recently was Discovery Plus. Discovery Plus is going to be available for Fire TV and Roku, a couple other platforms as well. It's going to be having the various channels like the HGTV, Discovery, of course, Food Network, TLC, Animal Planet. These are now available for you to get for, what was it? $5 a month and $2 a month if you $2 extra a month, so $7 total if you want to get it without any ads. So I kind of like the diversifying of all these little networks and making their own little $5 to $7 payment things. But at the same time, I really, really hate the fact that all the channels that got added to Hulu Live and all these channels together basically add up to what Philo was, and Philo's $20 a month, and I have Philo, but because there's a couple of things that we would watch on a couple of these channels, but not so much anymore. So gonna have to refigure out what's best for me, rejigger our subscription services so everything is optimal if you want to. But that's just the pressure of having to do it, and I probably won't do it for a while. So people will make money off of me for a while. So,
well, the one thing about this, right? I mean, it does make a compelling argument, right? Which is essentially what you're saying, Matt, is that okay, so you pay like $65 a month, for Hulu, something like Hulu Live or YouTube TV, right? Or do I get CBS All Access for $6 a month? And then tack on Discovery Plus for $5 a month, and tack on Peacock for $5 a month, right? And maybe a couple of other services in there. Maybe just the regular Hulu by itself without the live bit. And then you get something like that going, right? And then maybe that fulfills, and maybe you add the Discovery Plus too for $5 a month, right? So you get all that going. Well, you're paying quite a bit less than the $65 a month, right? And you're getting all the content that you want. So you got to manage more subscriptions, right? But I mean, that's not too hard to do, really, right? Especially nowadays with Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV does the same thing, where they've got this, where you can just aggregate all your channels there together, right? So it makes it not too hard to manage. I don't know. I think this is something I'm starting to get more and more interested in, and I may end up going that way.
This is me. I think I stated this before, like in our New Year's episode. I want to have a service that helps me manage my subscriptions and helps me automatically remind me and make it easy for me to find the link to go ahead and take myself off of the subscription when a show is done and I'm done watching it, and hey, it's time to renew because your new show is coming on, kind of thing. I want that kind of somebody going ahead and saying, hey, tell us what you want, we'll help you through it, get through it. And I don't care if they put ads on that page that helps me manage all that and make money advertising to me, or even a small fee would be fine.
Sure.
That would be great. Somebody go out there and make that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, obviously, I'm talking about canceling my Hulu before February 1st because I forgot to cancel it before January 1st. And that's really kind of what it comes down to is, it is not terribly difficult to manage your subscriptions. Though I will say I often forget about subscriptions that I have. Occasionally I'll subscribe to the Pokemon channel or something like that for my daughter for a month or two. and then I'll forget to cancel it. And
Oh,
Oh,
did we lose Mike? No, I
oh
didn't do it.
no.
I swear I didn't do it. Mike, are you okay? Oh,
that big of a
And
deal,
there we
but
go.
oh,
do
here
it.
he is. Oh,
We lost you there for a minute, Mike. Sorry. And we lost
Am
you.
I frozen?
Oh, you are frozen. Yeah,
you
now
are
you're better.
frozen.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're back. Now you're back.
We lost you for
all
about
bad.
half of that entire conversation. Sorry.
Sorry about that. Nothing terribly riveting or important. Just was saying that I forget my subscriptions regularly.
And the secret to life, so it's all good. So no big deal.
Yeah.
The secret to life is that everybody should always play old video games, and some of those best old video games are things like a forgotten game that was made for the PlayStation 1. Magic Castle was a game that was made by some people who took basically a platform that allowed amateurs to make games for the PlayStation 1, and they finished making a game for using it. And they tried to get it sold through different publishers. So, like I believe Sony was very interested in doing it, but eventually that fell through, and the game sat on somebody's shelf for years and years and years, never being published as a game for anybody to play. Now it has been brought back to life, and it is now available for people to play online for free using the Internet Archive's emulator package. So you can play an old game right now from a play called Magic Castle, which was made in 1998. And I have not played it. I have no idea if it's any good. I just would love this story because I love old software coming back to life.
Wow. This is kind of cool. I kind of want to go back and try it.
Well, you will be able to. That's the wonderful thing.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
All right. Minecraft Earth will be shutting down on June 30th. That's right. Minecraft Earth. Do you remember that was a thing? Does anybody remember that? What was Minecraft Earth? Does anybody remember what that one was?
I do remember it.
You do?
And it basically because I remember the picture that they have on the article. So it's like I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when that came out. The AR Minecraft game, and it's you know, at the time I was thinking, yeah, it's like Pokemon Go for Minecraft,
right? And it was announced in WWDC of 2019, which means mid to late year 2019, which means it kind of had a short shelf life thanks to current pandemic events.
I was going to say, I mean, it probably didn't get the traction it needed before, but the pandemic this last year has been difficult for a lot of different businesses, and you know, walking and going out and socializing with people while you games business is one of those that took a bit of a hit. I think Pokemon Go, you know, managed fairly well to weather that, and the way that they approached it was pretty good approach, and it's probably what allowed them to stay as solvent and functional as they are. And you know, but I don't play Minecraft or Pokemon Go nearly as much as I used to, just because I'm not out of the house anywhere near as much as I'm used to.
Yeah, so here's my mini rant about this. Microsoft, why don't you make the software required to run the game, the server-side software to run this game, why don't you make it publicly available for everybody to download and run their own servers? Don't have to open source it if you don't want to. Still monetize off of it because, you know, somehow or another you can make money through this system. And then me and my buddies who do want to do this, we can get a server and we can put it on the internet and we can go play our Minecraft game. I hate seeing games die because the servers behind them basically go, well, never mind, we're done. I would love it if all the companies that have these kind of games somehow made like, we're going to go ahead and some type of announcement that would say, we guarantee that we will be using this game. We will be selling this game for as long as we want to, for maybe a couple years at least, something like that. And when we are done, we will release a version that will be available for people to download and run themselves. And this could be the exactly the kind of thing that makes the next cool game that somebody else would invent. So I wish that's what they would do.
Yeah. And Matt, and here's one for you. Minecraft, the Raid the Capitol building version.
No. That's not a thing. Not a thing. I don't know why you'd ever want to play that game. I don't understand.
Yeah, I actually very much appreciate what you're saying. One of my all-time favorite games had this happen, and it made me very sad. A few years after, a few people did get a hold of the ability to build their own servers, but the community had died too much at that point, and it was an MMO, so it relied too much on the community, which made it impossible. But yeah, I mean, a game like this, where like even Pokemon Go, where you don't necessarily have to interact with people that you don't know in the game, could very fully succeed on a small set on individual servers that can only handle the load of 3 or 4 people that are playing together, right? And you do it with your friends, and that would be sufficient. I think that would be a great idea, and I'd love to see him do it, though I find it highly improbable that Microsoft will.
Very cool. All right, Samsung is another company who's got a bunch of new things coming out for next week for CES announcements. And of course, like a good big company who wants to get those stories early out, they jumped the gun and let a little bit of their information out now, specifically about a couple of their television products. First up, they have a new experiment where you can go ahead and get your brand new Samsung TV, hang it on your wall, get your phone out and a little device that comes with you can purchase, and use that device and your phone to calibrate your TV like a pro would yourself while you're at home. Has anybody here ever had their TV calibrated professionally, either like at the store or had somebody come in and do the measurements and all that? I've never done that. So
not TV, only monitor. When we used to do graphic design,
get it color accurate.
We would do that to get it color accurate to like the Pantone colors and stuff. So
I did mine when I bought my OLED, a couple of years back, right? They, the Best Buy guys came in and did that. It was part of the installation service.
That's cool.
Did it take a long time? Was it laborious? Were you like, I'm glad I didn't have to do this?
No, it wouldn't. It wasn't laborious, but I mean, but they did have the equipment.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, it requires the appropriate equipment because it has to be able to see a portion of the screen as it changes and adjusts. So
right.
I mean, you can get it for a computer monitor for a couple $100. So I assume it's not that much more for a TV, but or maybe not any more for a TV. But that said, you're going to use it once every time you buy a TV, pretty much, or unless you keep it for a really long time and it starts to fade or something like that. So, it's not something that makes sense for a normal person to spend $200 on something you use basically one time.
Okay. Well, how about this? Are you thinking of getting a new TV? Maybe you can take one of Samsung's new TVs. They are working on their 4K and 8K models. These big TVs will be available with using the QLED technology at their CES shows, and they're showing them off they're being powered by their mini LEDs behind there, which is basically getting an individual light behind almost every pixel or every pixel. I believe it's like pixel for pixel lighting on those things. So it's you can get your inky blacks with these because it's all individually lit with your LEDs. So it's pretty cool technology, I gotta say.
Yeah, the technology there is impressive, right? And I'm saying this as a OLED owner, right? But the QLEDs. When I was looking for my TV a couple years ago, I did look at the QLEDs. I thought they were equally as impressive even back then, right? And this technology even gets it even more closer now to the OLED. It is a different technology than OLED, but as far as being able to discern the difference between the two, I think they're right on par with each other.
I imagine there's some pros and cons to each. I imagine OLED.
They are.
OLED is prone to burn-in, although they've pretty much fixed that. And backlights mean thicker displays versus OLEDs, which are super thin. So I mean, I'm sure there's lots of you have cost, obviously. So
yeah, what you'll notice is that the OLEDs are typically a little bit sharper, just slightly sharper on the image, but the QLEDs are brighter. It's a brighter screen than the OLED, right? Mm-hmm. So that's usually the biggest difference between the two, right? So it comes down to do you like brightness better or do you like sharpness better? For me, I chose the sharpness.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with your statement there. I think that I still feel
every year
like
at CES, Samsung and the rest of the TV industry.
Sorry.
Am I dying again?
No, I accidentally streamed some stuff.
Oh, yeah, I distinctly feel like I can tell the difference visually between the QLED and the OLEDs. Depending on what's on the screen. But that said, it is very close. And, I think currently most of the QLEDs are running like full matrix display, which is not quite the same as a one-to-one pixel to pixel lighting scenario, which it sounds like that's what the goal is here. And so, I think this should get it much closer. Will it be 100%? I don't know. It just depends on the way that they build those screens and whether it can get like truly blacks and stuff. But I mean, they're pretty darn close now with the QLED. So I got to imagine if this is a noticeable upgrade, it's going to be pretty outstanding. It really, to me, just comes down to, what has the richer colors and stuff. And I don't get too concerned about OLED brightness just because I seldom am watching TV in a bright room. And so in a moderately dark room, it's not going to make that much difference.
The only time I get to see those nice OLEDs and QLEDs and all that is when I'm walking through the showroom and I'm going, wow, those are some pretty screens. But, they're all jazzed up to look good no matter what in those situations.
Yeah.
So.
Do like the name, though, Neo.
That's true. Hey, if you want an interesting setup for your TV, I got just the thing for you. You can get yourself a camera to put on top of your TV so it can watch you while you do your workouts. Keep track of your reps and your form and, try to figure out if you're losing weight and you're making sure you're doing your exercise. This sounds like a great idea, right?
I mean, I think everybody went out and bought one of those, there's been several services that have offered similar types of things and they haven't succeeded, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. I think most people just it's one thing to have something listening to you all the time, but the idea of a video camera watching you all the time, I think is a lot different. Now, that said, there's nothing saying that this is on all the time, but
yeah,
you always have that sneaky concern. It's kind of like the Echo, right? It's supposed to only be listening to you when it's activated by the code word, but not so much so. So it's I'm kind of leery about these things. On the other hand, I love the idea of something helping me out. Though, I mean, really, it's not that hard to count how many push-ups you've done.
Yeah.
I mean, are you doing like 10,000 push-ups or something that you're going to lose count?
Fair enough.
And what it told me to put down that glass of wine if it saw me drinking a glass of wine.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
maybe it might. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, for me, there's lots of things that can run timers, right? So a timer is useful for a device to have, but counting your reps just seems a little bit on the silly side. Like I said, you know, not many of us are doing so many reps that we can't keep track.
All right.
True, and I think I prefer the and maybe just because I'm about to start it, right? The Fitness Plus, right? It tracks you through the watch, right? And the watch can keep track of your motion and that kind of thing. No camera involved, right? So
right.
Very cool. Samsung, their last story that they had, they have a newer version of their TV called the Frame. This is the TV that looks like an art piece. It's extremely thin. It fits on the wall. If you're not looking at it carefully, you'll think it is a piece of actual art because it's designed to look that way. This one is thinner than last year, which means it's able to even be more blend into your art, into your wall, as if it's just a regular piece of art. It also has a brand new feature, which it picks up from the Sero TV that came out in 2019, also from Samsung. It has a button that you can press that'll make the entire the entire TV change orientation from portrait to landscape with the press of a button. Now, normally I'd be like, no, don't do it. But actually, for some art pieces, portrait makes sense. So, and being able to do it on the fly is, again, a neat gimmick that will sell many of these TVs compared to others.
Oh, I agree with the words gimmick. Well, I mean, like
3D TVs sold millions of TVs.
Yeah, but this is far more gimmicky to me. I mean, I have for a while thought that I liked the idea of framed TVs. I mean, in the past places that I've seen them, they literally took a regular TV and they built a frame around it and provided ventilation and stuff. So it was not as fancy as this. This is a nice upgrade to have it be a framed TV that can look like your art. I don't know that you really want your TV to be on that much. That's going to, over time, wear your TV out a lot quicker, I think. So that, but then the other thing is really the rotating things where I feel like it's just pure gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you can't find any artwork that's portrait or that's landscape orientation, I should say. I mean, come on. There's plenty of landscape art out there. Use the landscape mode.
But you're going to be having it fade between them, and you're going to make it so, you know, at this time you want that nice long vista to be shown, and this time you want that portrait of that lady viewing her from her back and all that. So I want the TV to automatically just kind of swivel as it, you know, fades to the next.
As it fades from picture to picture.
Exactly.
I mean,
I want that. If it's going to do it, I want it to do it right.
And the thing is that, like, they show a picture of this. The picture that they have is it's surrounded by other pictures, which obviously you're going to knock a bunch of artwork off the wall every time it rotates.
Jimmy, stop rotating the TV! You keep knocking my things off the wall. I can so see that. That's so true.
Just come on.
Sorry, I said Jimmy because I was thinking of generic kid name. Sorry, Jimmy.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's a bit of a gimmick, right? I mean, this is just this year's gimmick, right? But I don't know. You know, I know that the technology is probably good and you wouldn't have to worry about it. But, you know, I would think about, you know, image burn-in on your screen, right? You know, or something of that nature, you know. Plus, too, you know, the screensavers. I don't know if you guys ever seen the screensavers like on the Apple TV.
Yeah.
You know, much more, you know, mesmeric than this here would be, right? Just, I mean, those are nice pictures, what I see in there, right? And they certainly look really good, and you could make it, you know, some classic, you know, art, you know, there on your wall, but and you could always change it, right? You know, I get the gimmick, right? But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm with Mike on this. Yeah, it's pure gimmick.
Well, you know what's not a gimmick? Samsung is saying you, yes, you, are perfectly capable of installing your own 110-inch TV. That's right. They are coming out with their brand new 88-inch, 99-inch, and first off the presses 110-inch micro LED models. These will be purchasable by you, and you will be able to bring the box home from the store. I don't know what kind of vehicle you'd need to take it home, but that's besides the point. Be able to open up the boxes and use the included handles in order to lift these screens up, maybe with a couple other people for help because it's so big, and you'll be able to mount that onto your wall yourself without help from a professional. They actually state in the article here that normally these big monitors would require, like their monitor called the Wall would require some professional installation, and that professional installation makes it extremely expensive to do. This is going to be much easier and much less expensive. So yes, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I probably can afford to pay somebody to install it if I can afford a 110-inch top of the line TV. I'm just going out on a limb with that one. What are they expecting these to cost? Do you know?
No. It's me. I go up there and I said, no. This is the floor model, and it's last year's. I want it for 30% off. I'm gonna get it cheap.
Yeah, 30% off. What's that number?
Don't ask. It's too much, anyways.
Maybe a few $100,000.
No, probably not that much. These are intended to be purchasable by normal mortals, mere humans. So,
I mean, the micro LED, they're saying potentially $300,000 for
the professional
146-inch model. Sorry, 146-inch.
Yeah, that's how much they think the installation was for the Wall version, which has had to be professionally installed. They're saying in this article that the new ones will be significantly less because you will be able to do it yourself. So
yeah. Later in the article, it mentions an LG 88-inch signature ZX 8K OLED television, 88-inch, going for an eye-watering $30,000. Right?
Yeah, that's
so yeah, $30,000. But hey, you can install it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll go buy a car instead. Thank you.
I don't blame you. Hey, guys, I have sad news. If you've been watching Netflix and you've been using your 3DS, your Nintendo 3DS or your Nintendo Wii U to do it, unfortunately, June 30th, they're going to turn those apps off and make them no longer work on those platforms. This is the constant moving of things. I'm sure they're looking at their numbers of how many people out there are actually using these platforms. What's sad for me is that there is actual new Netflix 3D content you can see through the 3DS. I know there is some out there. This might be the last time you'll be able to watch it, which would be sad if you are interested in doing that. But this is coming to an end.
I am sad. I'm sad that I just found this out.
Aww.
And that it's being taken from me as soon as I know about it.
It's an injustice, right? Injustice.
This is an injustice.
I gotta say, this is another one of those. Why are you turning it off? It's something that you don't have to. Or maybe there is a reason. There probably is a reason.
It's a software maintenance thing.
I know, but at the same time, if it works, just let it go. Or I don't know. To me, there's just a little bit of if it's still working, why turn it off anyways? But I'm sure there's a reason to just not. Security
is the real issue usually with software. And anytime you have software that's accessing the internet, you've got to keep up to date on any security vulnerabilities that get found out about the different platforms or languages or open source software that you use to make it work or whatever. And so there is always, for any internet connected software, the requirement to continue updating it for security vulnerabilities at the least. Sure. And so, for them, it's just unfortunately not worth having a couple of developers spending time on it when it's not used by very many people on platforms that are very outdated. I mean, the 3DS is still a good platform, though.
It's only one generation old.
Sort of. Well, yeah, but it's a really, really long generation.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, it's been out for like 12 years or something like that.
That's true.
So, but with the Switch out, and the Switch has been out for a very long time as well, it's just, I think most people are moving to those. We have a 3DS. I don't think my daughter's played it more than an hour in the last year because she's got a Switch.
Fair enough.
Occasionally she sees it.
I just wish to be bitter about losing platforms. That's all. That's all. And last story here is actually a repeat. So that was the week's news, everybody. All right. I want to take just a moment here to let everybody know out there that you can support us if you want to by going to patreon.com/thevodsquad. That's where you can take your hard-earned cash, and if you feel like it, give us some. We don't need. We're not being greedy. We're not asking for a lot. We're asking for $1. And if you want to give that to us, we'd very much appreciate it. And those of you who already are doing that, you're the best. Just want you to know, you are the best. All right.
Absolutely.
I'm going to move on to rants and raves. All right. Who wants to go first for rants and raves this week?
I'll go first since I'm in the pole position there. Yeah, so me and my wife, this is not, a brand new show, but it's a show on HBO Max, Succession. Me and my wife started watching that a few days ago. I think we're about I'd say we're maybe 7 episodes, maybe 8 episodes into it. And really enjoying that one, right? My daughter suggested this show, said, hey, I think there would be a show that you and mom would like. So we gave it a try, and here we are. We're still watching it, and still about a good 7 or 8 episodes into it. Really, really liking that one. There's 2 seasons out right now. We're going through the first season, and then and good to know that we're enjoying the show and still got another season right behind it when we finish up the first. So enjoying that one. If you hadn't seen it, I would recommend it. I think it's got pretty good ratings. Some of the actors in that show are kind of new actors, or actors maybe you haven't seen before. There's even some actors in there that you have seen before, but maybe it's been a long time since you've seen the actors. One of the actors in there, which is he's quite a bit older now, but I remember him from I can't remember his name exactly, but I remember seeing him in the Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Right, he was one of the he was the sidekick in that movie. So he's one of the characters in there. So really good acting in this show. There's also an actor in there, British actor. He was in the first 2 or 3 seasons of MI5. If you are a fan of the MI5 show, the British show, so he's in it as well. But if you haven't seen that one, that's one I'd definitely recommend. Enjoying that show, and if you hadn't seen it, then and you have HBO, then put it in your queue.
Very cool. All right, Michael, you got anything for me?
I wish I did. No. Unfortunately, I haven't watched anything in the last week.
Been playing anything? Been doing anything fun? Has there been something that's been going on that's been bugging you?
Unfortunately, I mean, things have been going on that have been bugging me, mostly with work, but
Right.
not game wise or anything like that. So
It's okay.
I will just leave it at want more time. Yeah, that's my rant. I want more time to watch TV.
It's fair enough. I got 3 things to talk about, so I will fill in your space if you don't mind. First of all, I want to talk about this guy. This is the Chromecast, Google Chromecast with Google TV, formerly known as Project Sabrina, and I am going to call it Sabrina from this point on, because the name they have for it sucks. Got this for free for being a YouTube TV subscriber for a while, and it was a kind of a thing where, hey, if you sign up, all you have to do is accept our offer, but by a certain date. And I was, just in case somebody was going to get me one for Christmas, I didn't accept the order until Christmas Day. So I just got this in Monday. And, there's things I really like about this. In particular, it's a pretty decent Android TV. It's an Android TV, everybody. Don't think it's a Chromecast in any way. The remote is okay and all that. It's not bad. I actually like it a lot. But the thing I like the most about it is it's very fast. Compared to a lot of the other Android TVs I've used in the past where it felt a little clunky, a little bit slow behind me, pressing the talk to it button sometimes just takes a half a second longer than it feels like it should. This thing is snappy, and I love that. Oh, and one other thing about the remote itself. The remote has a disc controller where your thumb is. That disc is raised but a depressed middle. And I feel that is... I actually really like that design. It feels natural for where my thumb is supposed to go. And control seems like it should be a good thing. It's... ergonomically, I really enjoy that part of the controller. Some of the other buttons are... they put the back button in the right spot if you're right-handed and the wrong spot if you're left-handed. But other than that, it's fine. Everything else, the ability for it to control your TV either through the IR or through CDs, the control platform through the HDMI works great. And so I've been playing with that. I will continue to play with that. I might do some heavy, playing with trying to add game support to it because I've got the right kind of dongle to add additional USB ports and other outputs to it to see if I can play with it and fun things like that through the USB-C port. But it's been a really nice platform to use. So good job, Google. I think you got a winner here. Now keep updating it, keep using it, keep making it work, and call it something else because everybody's confused.
What was the price on that, man?
Free to me. $50 to everybody else. It was given to me for free because I've been a member of YouTube TV for a long time. It was a free offer for December. Second thing is there was a really amazing deal that came up on my feed recently of various we didn't buy a lot of huge things for Christmas. We kind of had a kind of a quiet Christmas this year, and so when I saw that the Moto 360 was available, which is an Android Wear watch, when it came up, which is normally $300 for $130 through B&H Photo, I picked it up. I'm not usually a watch wearer, so I'm getting used to wearing it. My wife has an Apple Watch, and I can tell you right here, right now, this is nowhere as good as an Apple Watch. It's just simply not. It's great. It's a great watch, and it's a great notification tool, and it tells time. I love that. In fact, there's a mode you can get into where all it does is tell time until you reboot it. It becomes just a watch and low power mode thing. I kind of like the ability that I can do that. It can text. It connect to my everything. This one is not able to do anything LTE. It's not designed to do that. It does everything through the phone. But I can pay with it. I can do all these fun things. One thing I wish it doesn't have a speaker. So the only way it notifies you of anything is with vibration, which is fine, I suppose. It notify as a notification. That's fine. I like it. I think it's worth $130. I don't think it's worth the $300 originally was out there. And Apple's got it down. If you want to watch right now, if you want one of the fancy watches out there, the Apple Watch is right now the king for a reason. It's a really good watch. And these guys out here, sure, they'll catch up eventually, but no, they're not there yet. I just got to say. That being said, I would love to have an Apple Watch and use it with my Android phone.
Yeah. So I'm assuming your wife has an Apple phone.
Yeah, she is very much into the Apple ecosystem, and that's fine. I have no problem with people who are in the Apple ecosystem if that's what they want to do. But I do not, because I guess it's the underdog person in me. I like to see the little guys. I also like open source and that kind of stuff to do well. So I've always been, let's see if we can see the guys who are trying to do that kind of an open platform do well.
Apple used to be that, right?
Yeah, and I liked them back then. And also, they used to be cheaper too back then, when they were like struggling company trying to survive, and they were doing really good sales to the education market and things like that. They used to be the underdog, and I liked them back then. I kind of lost my distaste for them when they became the luxury brand. Unfortunately, that's how I feel about it. But they're not bad. It's just not for me. That's all.
I'm looking at this watch online here. It looks pretty sleek there. It looks like it's I kind of like that.
It's a beautiful watch, and I wish Apple would have a circular watch, quite frankly, because it's a better design. You lose a little bit of screen real estate in the corners. Who cares? But I really. It came with 2 bands, a leather and it's a beautiful watch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty nice there.
Yeah. So now yours, you are wearing an Apple Watch, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, mine's Apple.
Yeah.
So, good but not great. Cheap, go for it. I know there's other ones out there that are cheap and pretty good.
You can get an Apple Watch for $200.
Yeah, I know, but again, I probably would buy an Apple Watch if it worked with an Android phone.
Well, there's rumors that Apple's going to do that.
Great. Then probably next year or the year after that, I will get an Apple Watch unless Android can catch up, and then I'll be like, oh, cool. But it's okay. It's no big deal. That's a luxury thing. I get it. That's fine. Third thing I want to talk about. It's a Google thing. Google announced a really cool feature, if you ask me. In India, there's a kind of candy bar called a 5-star. It's a milk chocolate covered nougat and honey candy bar. And apparently, the slogan for this candy bar is you eat this bar and then you're done for the day. It's the end of the day. You don't get anything else done. You're just done. In India, you can tell Google to eat a 5-star. At which point, for some amount of time, it refuses to be helpful. It starts getting sassy. You can ask it to do all kinds of things, and it goes like, here's the examples it gives you. I feel like doing nothing now, and I'm going to help you chill too. Ask me anything. Anything. I have a better idea. Let's do nothing. Anything more? How do I fix a phone? Remember that old saying, if it's broken, don't fix it? Check my emails. I've checked. They're right where I left them. They're just relax until next time. And other ones like, how do I make round rolls? And says, don't be judgy. Rolls can be other shapes too. It was just a great amount of sass coming out of Google, which quite frankly, Google could use a little personalization sometimes. Personality would be good for it. And I want this in the States. I want to be able to have I want to be able to turn on my sassy remote robot to talk to for a little bit, so I can hear it. You can get kind of sassy with me, but I don't know why I want that. But I don't really want that. I like it now.
Nice.
And with that makes this show complete. We are done for the day. We should be getting back again to here Next week, what times of the? It's 7 o'clock Pacific time on Wednesdays is when we do the show. So you guys figure it out for your own time zones. Dang it.
Yeah. 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
9 o'clock Central. Yep.
Well, fine. And those guys in the mountains, they're somewhere in between. It doesn't really matter. But next week we should be doing CES. That's right. CES is happening. We will be here on Wednesday. I will be hosting again, but hopefully we'll have a Clyde. Apparently Clyde is going to go to Vegas to see what shows are being shown. Are either of you guys planning on going, or is it just going to be the Clyde? Clyde's going to be on the ground. No,
not me. Not this year.
Just Clyde this year. I wanted to go, but
wasn't able to make it happen, huh?
Too much stuff going around.
I don't blame you.
I figured I would hold out until on my vacations until things cleaned up a little bit.
I do not blame you. That's okay. Clyde will have a blast, and he will tell us all about the stuff he sees or not. I bet there will be a lot of him gazing in through windows and saying, that could be cool if I could get closer and see it. So we'll see. Hopefully he can get in. That would be great. But until next week, that's it for us. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.